Alright, I'm sure most of you have heard this iconic song before, High Green Mountains or Gao Shan Qing. It's famous across the Chinese-speaking world as one of the representative songs of Taiwan. People often assume that it's an adapted indigenous folk tune, but in fact it was created by a film crew from Shanghai who were barely familiar with Taiwan then. The poet Deng Yuping, who penned the lyrics, allegedly didn't even summit Alishan until 30 years later in the 1980s. Welcome to Taiwan in Time's very first YouTube video. For those who don't know, Taiwan in Time is a weekly historical feature in the Taipei Times that is now entering its 10th year. I'm the writer, Cheung, and I'm trying this video thing out for the first time, so bear with me and feel free to provide any suggestions. Today is the 75th anniversary of the Taipei premiere of Happenings in Alishan, or Alishan风雲, the first Mandarin movie to be shot and produced entirely in Taiwan. According to the film's co-director Zhang Ying, Shanghai had once again become China's Hollywood after World War II ended, and there was considerable interest in the Taiwan market and Taiwanese topics. Everyone believed that the industry had a bright future, but then the Chinese Civil War broke out. In 1949, directors Zhang Ying and Zhang Che, yes, that Zhang Che who would become one of Hong Kong's top martial arts film directors, led a crew to Taiwan to film Happenings in Alishan for the Cathay Film Company. The plot revolved around the legend of how Qing dynasty interpreter Wu Feng allegedly sacrificed his life to stop the indigenous Taiwanese Zhou from their headhunting practices. This story was a big deal then, but today it's considered offensive towards indigenous Taiwanese as it perpetuated stereotypes of them as violent, backwards people who needed to be civilized by Han Chinese culture. According to legend, Wu spent much time with the Zhou people in Alishan as a middle person between them and the Han settlers and the Qing government, and they were quite fond of him. Wu Feng had been trying to stop them from headhunting to no avail, so before they were about to set out on an expedition, he told them to decapitate instead a man in red clothes who would pass by the next day. They did so only to find that the man was Wu Feng himself. Shocked and deeply saddened, the Zhou vowed to give up the practice forever. This tale of self-sacrifice was learned by every child in school, but it brought much shame to indigenous students and exacerbated the discrimination and bullying they already faced. In 1988, indigenous rights activists took a chainsaw and toppled the Wu Feng statue in front of Jiayi train station. Wu Feng Township was renamed Alishan Township the following year, and the story was scrapped from the textbooks. The movie's production methods would also be highly questionable today. Even though the characters were mostly indigenous, the principal actors all hailed from China, and filming was done almost entirely in Hualien. There were no scenes in Alishan, and the Zhou people were not featured at all. All of the footage of indigenous singers, dancers, and festivals were instead of the Amis, or Pangca people. So, the crew was meant to return to China after filming, but before they even began shooting in mid-1949, the production company Cathay announced that it was pulling the project as the People's Liberation Army closed in on their headquarters in Shanghai. The company urged them to return to China and send back the equipment before it was too late. But according to Zhang Ying, all but 2 members declined the final chance to return home, opting to stay and complete the movie independently. The movie featured several original songs, all composed by Zhang Che, but curiously the initial script did not include High Green Mountains. According to Zhang Ying, after filming wrapped up in Hualien, lead actress Wu Jinghong began complaining that there were no scenes of her singing in the film, as the female vocal duties were performed by Zhang Qianxi, who had formal training. The crew then headed to a waterfall in Beitou to film the extra scene, and this is supposedly where Zhang Che and Deng Yuping came up with High Green Mountains. At that time it was titled The Girl from Alishan, or Alishan de Gunyang. Zhang Ying recalls that Wu had trouble staying in key, and today Zhang Qianxi is commonly credited as the original singer, although some sources beg to differ. In 1952, Chinese composer Huang Youdai rearranged the tune into Song of Alishan, or Alishan Zhige. This version was adapted by numerous popular singers, and at some point it took on the name High Green Mountains. It was also a big hit in China, and for a long time it was the one song people there associated with Taiwan. Over the decades, the song became more and more popular while the movie faded into obscurity, leading many to believe that it was actually a Taiwanese indigenous folk song. It didn't help that the original footage of the song and the film credits were lost, and today only 20 minutes of the original movie survives. It was only in the 1980s that Deng Yuping was properly credited for his contribution. That's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and if you want to learn more details, please check out the original article on the Taipei Times website.